Bit of a different style video today. We're doing a collaboration with another Adelaide content creator. His name is Aaron, or Low and Slow Basics, specializes in all things slow cooked meats and barbecue. We're going over to his house. It's a bit of a journey, so I'll see you when we get there. All right, so we've arrived at Aaron from Low and Slow Basics house. He's already got the ribs on because I couldn't wake up that early, so he's already started it. And what have you already done for them?
So these beef ribs, we're working with a 4-bone rack. Beautifully marbled beef ribs. I've just given them a light trim, removed any excess fat, and then we've given them a coat in some yellow mustard just to help our rubs stick to the meat. And you can use any of your favorite barbecue rubs, but we've just hit them with a combination of my steak shooter and beef bounce. Beef bounce is going to give us a really nice bark, and that steak shooter, we're just going to be leveling up the flavors. So I've just got these smoking away at that 275 Fahrenheit or 135 Celsius range. I'm just going to get some smoking wood on now. I'll get a chunk of cherry straight on the fire, and then I've got a chunk of bourbon barrel oak I'll put just to the side. And then I'm just going to get our heat deflector in, followed by our cooking grate, and then our beautiful rack of beef ribs. Simply just going to let them smoke away. We'll come back to them later in the video, and we're going to go get some pickles going.
Sounds good.
All right, now our beef ribs are on, we're going to get stuck into some homemade pickles.
So with the pickles, we want to get these done first so we can get them in the fridge and that brine can work its magic. And then after that, we've got a couple more sides to go. For the pickles, we need 1 large cucumber. Take off both ends and then slice this into rounds. You can also slice the cucumber in half and then cut into ribbons. That choice is all yours, but the rounds just look better on a barbecue platter. Once you have that done, place them into a tall, sterilized jar. If they don't all fit, you can do this over 2 or just use a bigger jar. That choice is all yours. Add in 10 grams or 0.3 ounces of fresh dill, just push it down the side, and then crush 4 cloves of garlic with the side of your knife, also adding that in and slightly pushing it down. Doesn't really matter too much, as long as it's sitting on the top. Now in a saucepan for the brine, add 250 milliliters of cold water, 200 milliliters of white vinegar, add in 1 tablespoon each of black peppercorns, coriander seeds, and yellow mustard seeds, 3 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, and 5 dried bay leaves. Season with about 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then mix this around, bring it up to a boil. Once it's at a boil, take it off the heat, and this can be poured straight on top of the cucumbers, dill, and garlic. I do recommend using a funnel as well, just so you don't make a mess. And once it's at the top and everything's completely covered, spoon in any remaining spices or seeds that may be in the saucepan. So now the brine's covering the cucumbers, we'll place it on the lid, and these can go in the fridge to completely cool down. And there we go. With the pickles now in the fridge, we'll move on to the coleslaw. We've got 350 grams of white cabbage and 250 grams of red cabbage. I like to peel away the leaves and separate them into layers. It's going to make it a lot easier and safer to slice. And we're going to slice this into thin strips, also known as ribbons, or even chiffonade for the correct culinary term. Slice 1 red onion in half and save the other for another dish or another recipe. Take off both ends and then peel it. And then in the half moon position, we're going to thinly slice this into those thin strips. We're also going to need 15 grams of flat leaf parsley. Scrunch it up and give it a rough chop, making sure that there's no large leaves or stems. Next is 3 to 4 spring onions or scallions. Take off the roots, and then we're going to thinly slice the whole way across into small rounds. You can also do it on an angle if you'd like to create that nice little bit of presentation. An optional ingredient is 40 grams of macadamia nuts. You can really use any tree nuts of your choice. Roughly chop these, just make sure they're not whole. And if you want even extra flavor, you can toast them in a pan. With all of that chopped, we'll just use clean hands and start mixing this all together. Make sure everything's separated and completely mixed through. Then for our dressing, we're going to need 200 grams of mayonnaise. Any brand of mayonnaise of your choice is completely fine here. Add that to a mixing bowl. Add in 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We're also going to need 1 lemon, save half for another recipe or a drink, and then squeeze in the juice of half a lemon. Just make sure that no seeds decide to jump in. With that in a bowl, give it a good mix around, make sure everything's combined, check and adjust seasoning. We can also do that again later when the dressing is mixed through the salad. And what you should have is something that looks like this.
All right, and now with the pickles and the slaw out the way, we've just checked on our beef ribs. They've got about an hour left. So what we're gonna do now is get our chicken wings on. I'm just gonna simply season these up with my new chili citrus rub. And once our chicken wings are seasoned, we've got some nice red hot briquettes we're gonna dump in our barbecue. And then we're gonna get some smoking wood on, followed by our cooking grate. And then we're gonna get our chicken wings around the outside of our charcoal baskets. And they're gonna smoke away hot and fast at around 230 Celsius until they're nice, crispy and cooked through. Right, and after about 30 minutes, these chicken wings are nice, crispy on the outside, and they're well above that safe eating internal temperature of 74 degrees Celsius. And our beef ribs, these have been going for around 7 hours in total, got a beautiful bark on there. These are nice, squishy, probing, really tender, and we're right around where we want to be at that 96 Celsius or 205 Fahrenheit. We've also got some sausages in there. These have been smoking away for around an hour. And all I'm going to do now with our beef ribs is get them off and give them a short rest before we come back to slice, serve them, and put them on the platter.
Now, last but not least for the mac and cheese, we'll place a large pot of water onto our stovetop and then whack this over a high heat and bring it up to a boil. For our cheeses, we're going to grate 140 grams in total of cheese on the larger side of a box grater. What I have here is half Gouda and half cheddar. You can also use Gruyere or even mozzarella if you'd like to. I don't recommend using the store-bought stuff. It's always better to grate your own. Once the water's at a boil, just generously season it with salt. Doesn't need to be ocean water. Drop in 400 grams of macaroni or elbow pasta. Give it a stir, just so nothing sticks together. And cook this for 1 minute less than the packet instructions. Once that's done, just carefully remove them and then just pour them through a colander. Now into a pan over a medium-high heat, add in 200 milliliters of full-fat cream and 200 milliliters of full-fat milk. 120 grams of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of both onion and garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of smoked paprika. Season to taste with salt and cracked black pepper, 15 cracks worth. Then mix that all around, make sure all of those flavors have become friends and the cream cheese is thoroughly mixed through. Bring it up to a simmer and then reduce the heat to medium. Cook it for about 4 to 5 minutes until very slightly reduced. Add in all of the cheese and then mix that all through. All we need to do right now is allow that cheese to melt, but I do recommend keep mixing it because we don't want that cheese to clump up. When the cheese is melted, the sauce is nice and thick, add in all of the macaroni. We can then mix this all through. All we need to do is cook this for about 1 to 1.5 minutes to finish off cooking the pasta and to get it all sauced up and nice and cheesy. Check it for seasoning and adjust to your liking, and this can be removed from the stovetop. When you're ready to serve, add all of the dressing onto the coleslaw mix and thoroughly mix until everything is coated. Check it for seasoning, adjusting with salt and pepper. You can add a little bit of lemon juice if it needs it. Then for the part that we've all been waiting for, well, especially that I've been waiting for, is to slice open those beef ribs. The smell coming off of them and what it created around the atmosphere was insane, and it's sliced through like butter. Just look at the inside of that. You've got that beautiful bark on the outside, and there's so much moisture in the center.
All right, we are done. I know what you're going to go for first and what we should go for first. The beef rib.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. That is so good. Jeez.
Unreal, isn't it? Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.